Hey there, it's Laria. In this video, I want to talk to you about all the reasons why I'm choosing to play Resto Druid going into Shadowlands, specifically for Mythic raiding. It's pretty well known that Resto Druids aren't necessarily the best healer when it comes to Mythic raiding, especially for progression purposes. Usually, at least what we've seen in BFA the last couple of raid tiers, is that Disciplined Priests and Holy Paladins kind of take those two top spots. So if you're someone who's looking to get into Mythic raiding, Resto Druid isn't necessarily bad, it just doesn't have those damage reduction cooldowns like Barrier and Devotion Aura that a lot of Mythic progression guilds are looking for. However, if you are in a Mythic raiding guild and your guild isn't really looking for a specific ranking and you just kind of want to clear things as quickly as possible while also having fun, Resto Druid is completely viable. If you're looking to do some Mythic raiding in Shadowlands, I hope this video convinces you to play Resto Druid. One of the things I love about Resto Druids is that it's a preemptive healer, and what I mean by that is that it prepares for incoming damage ahead of time. The class really relies on HOTS, which are healing over time abilities. This kind of healing style keeps me alert and paying attention to what's going on in the fight, because I need to pay attention to mechanics, but I also need to pay attention to the incoming damage that's about to happen. I also love the utility that Druids bring. In Mythic raiding, this can be really good, but from what I saw in BFA, Resto Druids weren't spectacular about bringing utility. There wasn't really that much that really said, oh, we should bring a Resto Druid over a Holy Priest. During Ny'alotha, really the big thing that I noticed was that Resto Druids have mass roots, and on a fight like Skitra, that was really important. On a fight like Hivemind, the utility that Resto Druids bring is Vortex. So if everybody is stacked up on the bosses, you can throw down a Vortex and you can keep all the adds together. In Shadowlands though, we're getting a couple more abilities thanks to the class changes that Blizzard has made. Two other abilities that we will receive in our utility toolkit is Stampeding Roar and Cyclone. Previously, Cyclone had been a PvP talent. Stampeding Roar was also something that only Guardian Druids could use. Now, in Shadowlands, Blizzard has given Stampeding Roar to every Druid spec. Another reason why I'm playing Resto Druid for my guild's Mythic progression in Shadowlands is because Resto Druids are really good at mobile healing. As I mentioned earlier, Resto Druids don't really have any raid-wide damage reduction cooldowns, so that's not really one of their strengths. However, Resto Druids are really good at healing on the move. Over the last few months, I have done every heroic and mythic raid testing on beta, and I got a pretty good idea about what the fights are going to be like. Obviously, the damage is going to be tuned for those fights, it's going to be tweaked a little bit. Some of the bosses might even gain or lose abilities depending on what changes Blizzard wants to make, but for the most part, I got a pretty good sense of each fight and how much movement is required on each one. There are a few fights that do require movement, and that's good for Resto Druids, so if we're able to be healing on the move and be doing raw healing, that's really good for the raid, because other healers that have to stop and cast aren't going to be able to heal as much as a Resto Druid would be if everyone is mobile and moving during a fight. The fight that comes to mind is actually Sire Denathrius. If anyone has seen footage of this fight, you know that you kind of have to move throughout the room in these like pie slices. You also have to move in front of the boss if it's your turn to soak. You also get sucked down into a completely different level during the fight. It turns into a different phase. There's a lot of movement on that fight. It's the last boss in the raid tier. And with Heroic in mind, I'm pretty confident in saying that you could kill that boss with pretty much any healing comp. Mythic, on the other hand, will be a bit different, but if you find out that your group is struggling with healing throughput, a Resto Druid might be a really good addition to your raid if you're on that boss. The amount of healing that a Resto Druid can do while their whole raid group is moving could be really good. The next reason why I'm playing Resto Druid is because of some of the class changes that Blizzard has made. Blizzard hasn't really changed Resto Druid that much, and actually the more I think about it, Blizzard hasn't really changed Resto Druid over the last couple expansions at all, really. In Legion we saw that we could use Trank on the move, which I really wish we could have that back. But basically the style of healing for a Resto Druid hasn't really changed. One of the class changes that Blizzard did make, and something that I'm actually really looking forward to, is how they changed Swift Mend. The way Swift Mend works now is that in order to use it on somebody, that player needs to have a HOT on them. So they either need to have Rejuvenation, Wild Growth, or Regrowth on them. If your target has all three of these HOTs on them, Swift Mend will prioritize Regrowth first, then Wild Growth, then Rejuve. The reason why I'm looking forward to this change is because it requires a little bit more attention from you if you're playing Resto Druid. For example, if you just put a HOT out on somebody and then they take a spike of damage and you instinctively want to use Swift Mend, that is then going to consume the rejuvenation that you just put on that player. So the attention comes in when you have to actually look at your raid frames and look to see if there's a player who just took damage with a rejuvenation that is about to expire. This is a little bit more mana efficient because at that point, you've used the mana to put rejuve on that player, and then you've let it tick for a while, and now they need a little bit of boost healing, so you're going to use Suspend on them, and hopefully the rejuvenation is about to fall off, so most of the ticks have already gone off. I'm nitpicking a little bit here, but you can see how at a Mythic or a cutting edge level, this kind of level of attention could be really important. Another example of a class change that I'm looking forward to is the addition of Nature's Swiftness. Resto Druids aren't super great at instant burst healing, and while Nature's Swiftness does have a cooldown, it's something. Blizzard is giving us something that gives us this instant heal that we can use on somebody. Having an additional ability that allows us to have an instant heal is great in my opinion. It's better than having nothing. And I just had to throw in this last reason why I'm excited to be playing Resto Druid in Shadowlands. If you don't already know, when the Shadowlands pre-patch is released, Blizzard has made a change so that Druids, no matter what spec you're in, you could either be Resto Druid, Guardian, Feral, Balance, it doesn't matter. You can go to the Barber shop and transmog your different Druid forms. I'm really looking forward to this because I can't wait to go to the Barber shop and transmog my Feral form to the Flame Kitty from Firelands. The other thing I'm excited about is that during Legion, I went and I did the Mage Tower for all 4 Druid specs. So if I want to switch it up and I don't want to use Flame Kitty anymore, I can go back the same day or in a week or whenever and keep switching my transmog back and forth. Maybe I want to use the Feral Mage Tower appearance. I can just already picture this being in Castle Nathria and switching forms. Maybe I need to go into bear form for some reason and my werewolf bear from the Mage Tower appears, or maybe I need a movement speed boost and I shapeshift into cat form, then I'm going to be this fiery red cat. It's great. This is going to be a fantastic addition to raiding. I hope this video has helped you decide to play Resto Druid in Shadowlands. Every healer has their strengths and weaknesses. Resto Druid has a spot in Mythic raiding, and the spec offers a lot of different things to help out your raid group. Let me know in the comments which healer you're playing in Shadowlands, or if you're planning on playing Resto Druid, what are you most looking forward to?